right, thank you again for being here. What an exciting day it is to be at Golden Eagle. Welcome to the Global Learning Center. If you haven't been in here, what a fantastic facility this is. Just renovated, has the virtual reality, 3D. The technology in here is award-winning nationwide and just a fantastic facility. So we're excited to be in here. We're excited for this event and for our new head coach. Today you're going to hear from our president, Dr. William Wilson, and then we'll hear from athletic director Mike Carter, and we'll also hear from our new coach. So without any further ado, I'll welcome Dr. William Wilson.
Thank you, Blake. What a great day it is at Oral Roberts University. It's finals week around here, so a lot of prayers going on campus presently, and everybody is fully engaged. I want to welcome you today to Oral Roberts University, and as Blake mentioned, to the new Global Learning Center. For you who have never been here, this building has recently been completely renovated from 28,000 square feet of underutilized television studio space that served us well in our past to 54,000 square feet of space devoted to ORU's future. This building includes the only totally dedicated virtual and augmented reality studio at any university in Oklahoma and the only one anywhere in Christian higher education. This center that is focused on the future seems a fitting venue for today's press conference, where we will formally meet the new head coach of our men's basketball program, Paul Mills, who will lead this program into the future. When former men's head basketball coach Scott Sutton was released 3 weeks ago, we immediately requested assistant coach Rodney Perry to step in and serve as our interim head coach. Coach Perry agreed and has done a fantastic job for us. As president, I want to say a special thank you to Rodney for his great work during this interim. He has shown exceptional grace and demonstrated a great love for our players. Rodney is a champion and is deeply appreciated by all of us. Rodney, are you here? Would you stand, please? Stand up. We want to say thank you. Great job, Rodney. We love you. And we're glad Rodney is staying with us. I also want to say a word about our men's basketball team. Transitions like this are never easy on teams given the uncertainty that they encounter. But this team has held together and united strongly through this process. We're very proud of these young men and honored they have chosen to be student athletes at Oral Roberts University. I want our men's basketball team in here today to stand up. Would you guys stand? We're very proud of you and grateful you're here. You guys are awesome. Yeah. 3 weeks ago, we immediately received interest in applications from coaches across the nation wanting to serve at ORU. Many of them were interested precisely because of the Christian ethos of our athletic program. This was exciting to hear, but it meant athletic director Mark Carter and I would need to make some very difficult choices. We appointed a search committee and a selection committee that included Scott Williams, Senior Associate Athletic Director, Eric Peterson, Special Projects Assistant to the President, Neil Stenzel, Chief Financial Officer, Misty Cousin, Head Women's Basketball Coach, and Gordon Helm, a member of the ORU Board of Trustees Athletic Subcommittee, to work with Mr. Carter in vetting and in the vetting and selection process. I think some of them are in the room today. Would you stand, please? We'd like to recognize you. I know some are here. Would you say thank you to this group who did such a fantastic job? Ultimately, 5 leading candidates were interviewed and fully vetted by this committee. Following this process, I met with the search committee's lead candidate and also with their second choice. When I met the lead candidate, Coach Paul Mills, I easily agreed fully with the search committee's selection. It was obvious that Coach Mills fit the 3 things we always look for in an ORU leader: competency, character, and chemistry. There was an immediate sense that Coach Mills belonged. He fit ORU, and in short order, we welcomed him to become our new head coach. Paul Mills has what I call spiritual savvy. He's a person with an exceptional record of integrity, authenticity, and genuine faith. He keeps his word, and he has a lovely family. In fact, they're with us today. His wife, Wendy, is here, his daughter, Audrey, who is 11, and Abby, who is 9. Wendy, Audrey, and Abby, would you stand? We welcome you to ORU today. Paul is also a competitor, a determined leader, and not afraid of a challenge. Now, we're very glad for this last part because we're expecting great things for our basketball team under his leadership. Following several years of declining fan support, recent difficult one-loss records, and a last-place finish in the Summit League this past season, our new coach will have his work cut out for him. I want to assure Coach Mills today that the entire ORU community is cheering him on and ready to help in any way we can. We are excited about the future under his leadership. Today, I am glad to express my own personal sentiment in saying that I believe Paul Mills is the right coach for this new season of time at Oral Roberts University. Coach Mills, we welcome you aboard at ORU. Would you stand to be recognized? You're going to speak in a moment, but would you say thank you to Paul? This is an exciting day for us here at Oral Roberts University, and this coach is going to do a fantastic job. I'd like to ask Mike Carter, our athletic director, now to come and say a few more words about Coach Mills, and then we'll hear from him personally. Mike, would you come? Welcome our athletic director today. Thank you, Mike.
I, too, welcome you. Thank you for being here today. This is exciting. The notes are a little smaller than I thought. So I need the cheaters. I really want to thank the search committee. They did an absolutely wonderful job. There were some long hours involved, a lot of time spent, a lot of due diligence done. Our candidate pool had over 50 applicants in it, and they came from all walks. We had head coaches from mid-major programs who have been to the NCAA tournament the last 2 years. We had assistant coaches from Power 5 schools, including ones from Final Four teams, Elite 8 teams, and Sweet 16 teams. From that pool, we did extensive interviews and vetting, and Paul Mills rose to the top. He's been at Baylor for 14 years, the last 8 of those as an assistant coach. And during that time, he helped lead the Bears to 2 NCAA Elite 8s, 4 Sweet 16s, 4 straight NCAA tournament appearances, an NIT championship. The program averaged 25 wins per season and was ranked top 25 10 straight seasons, including number 1 for a period of time last year. Paul is an exceptional recruiter. He's a proven leader in player development. 6 players from the Baylor program were not in the top 100 when they were recruited, and they were drafted in the NBA this last 10 years. He's loved and respected by his players. He came highly recommended by his fellow coaches. We had numerous calls, including Rick Barnes from the University of Tennessee, Tom Crean from Indiana, and Scott Drew, his head coach. And I'd like to read part of what Scott said. He sent us a text. He said, Coach Mills is a perfect fit at Oral Roberts University. As a deeply rooted Christian, he will fully embrace the spiritual mission of ORU. Paul can flat out coach. He's won at every level that he's been, and he will win at ORU. Congratulations to ORU on a fantastic hire. Please welcome Coach Paul Mills.
Thank y'all. This is obviously not only a privilege, it's an honor, and it's humbling. And I want you to know that I am extremely excited about the opportunity here. Thank you, Dr. Wilson, his wife Lisa. They've been phenomenal since we've been here. To Mike Carter, to the search committee, to the Board of Trustees, the entire ORU community. And I know my wife and daughters were recognized earlier, but their support has been fantastic. I want to publicly do what Dr. Wilson did, and I can't say enough good things about Rodney Perry and Coach Upshaw. and just how they've navigated these past 2 or 3 weeks, keeping everything in order and on place. And I'm glad that these guys are around with me as we build this thing together because they've been fantastic. I've talked to a lot of people in the last, since all of this went down on Friday, a number of players here that were very good. But one of the highlights was talking to ORU's first All-American and Richard Fuqua. And Richard, are you here? I saw you earlier. Yeah, there you are. I had the privilege of talking to him, and you could hear the affection in his voice, not only for the mission of Oral Roberts, but for Oral Roberts. And every of the players that I spoke with, you could hear that inside of them. And one of the things that brought me here was that history, to know that people truly, truly valued not only their basketball program and their experience, but this university. And having won 5 league championships and gone to the NCAA 3 different times, there's a history here. And I was excited about being to propel this thing further. And behind that, yesterday, I cut my eye here, right here, but I was messing around with a fire yesterday that was outside of our house, and there wasn't much there. And so I just saw a spark and reached down and kind of stoked it a little bit, and it got going. But I could hear behind me a wind that was rustling through the trees, and it hit that thing, and all of a sudden that thing kind of burst up into flames. And it was because a little bitty spark got stoked. Now, I'm not gonna do Wind Beneath My Wings by Bette Midler here, I promise you. But what I knew was that when the support came behind something that was actually stirring, it created something so much bigger. And on account of that, I began to just envision this process of Oral Roberts basketball and the fires that have already been here. And it is our job in order to take this. These guys are worth supporting. And I promise you, you will want your tickets. I've been in the Mabee Center, and we're going to fill it. We are, and you do not want to be in the navy blue seats, okay? Those are good seats, but you want to be in the gold seats. You are going to want to be as close to this action as possible because these guys have the character, and I promise you we're going to recruit guys of character, and we're going to get the people in here necessary in order to achieve what we're trying to achieve. I mentioned this to the players, and I mentioned this to the search committee. I really don't have a middle ground. I can do, as there's a rapper who says, I can do 0 to 100 real quick. And I don't really go in the middle. And so if we're going to do this, let's do it. And let's do it to the very, very best of our ability. And here's what I'm confident of. I can quote scripture here, right, Dr. Wilson? Ecclesiastes tells us that 2 is better than 1, and a strand of 3 is not easily broken. And we need as many people behind this as possible in order to push this thing forward. And Matthew chapter 5, last one. My father was a preacher, but I won't get too preachy here. Matthew chapter 5 says that we are to shine our light in such a way that men see our good deeds and they praise our Father who is in heaven. We are going to put a good product on the court. And as we put this good product on the court, people are going to pay attention to it. And men are going to see this good product. And we are going to praise our Father who is in heaven. And it is a privilege not only to represent Oral Roberts University, but to represent these guys and to do it in a way that honors not only what's put in place here in the history, but in order to propel this thing even further. And I couldn't be more happy about being the head basketball coach at Oral Roberts University. Thank you.
Again, we thank you so much for coming today. Coach Mills will be made available for the media. If you want to talk to him, we'll go back here by this press backdrop right here. But enjoy some refreshments. And again, thank you for coming. We look forward to a great season.